I actually just noticed that the beginning part didn't quite fix that. But what is happening, everybody? This is Cyclops with Gamers Gotta Game Dash 3, the podcast. Unfortunately, Charlie is not going to be able to make it to this podcast. He actually just let me know a little bit ago. He's having a family emergency, so we wish him well on that. But the show it must go on, so to speak. So we're gonna push through this, and Charlie, we wish you well, and hopefully everything is works out okay for you. So let's see here. He actually had some of this. He actually had a lot of this going here. So all right, I got all the stuff going here. Give me just 1 second. Like I said, it was. All right, so we've got a couple of big stories to go through. Let me actually get the first one pulled up here. Yep, as you can tell, we're very professional right now. Hold on. There we go. Gotta love it when this stuff doesn't want to pull up. But first story of the week. This week we're actually going to kind of follow more of a traditional way of doing the show, but we're actually going to be changing up the structure of the show very soon. And I will be reaching out to many of you to see if maybe you'd like to come on as a guest. But first off, let's get this going here. We've got to do another death. It seems like every week we're reporting on some sort of big death. But this is another, it seems like another week, another celebrity death. Steve Harwell from Smash Mouth has passed away of acute liver failure. Coming to us from the Today Show. Actually, this was reported on several sites here. I'm getting this off of Today Show or today.com. Steve Harwell, former lead singer of the rock band Smash Mouth, which I saw them live, actually, when they were in Rockford, Illinois. He died at the age of 56 on September 4th due to acute liver failure. Excuse me. Now, he was best known for the 1999 hit All-Star. Harwell's iconic voice is one of the most recognizable voices of his generation. He loved the fans and he loved to perform. And now, his cause of death was acute liver failure. His band's manager told NBC News that he added Harwell had many health issues. Now, he also had a slew of issues. He struggled with alcohol addiction and several other things throughout his life, so they know that contributed to it. That's just really sad to see another one, especially at the age of 56. So, I mean, it seems so young. But you know what? We just start that out with controllers up for him. And just a small moment of silence. All right. Now, one thing that I never thought that I would hear would be, I don't know why all my screens are all going all haywire here. But yeah, one thing I never thought that I would see is the day that we get somebody like Jimmy Fallon being accused of creating a toxic work environment with erratic behavior. But here we are. Just making sure that shows up. I don't know why it's actually doing this. Usually we can just go and but there we go. There we go. Yeah, nothing seems to want to work right today. So, but there we go. Sorry, like I said, nothing seems to be working right today, but that's all right. We'll get everything going. But yep, right here, the Tonight Show staffers are coming to the defense of Jimmy Fallon after toxic workplace and erratic behavior accusations. Now, earlier this week, NBC said in a statement to People that the network prides itself on providing a respectful working environment, though they've had employees raise issues in the past. Now, past and present employees of the Tonight Show of Jimmy Fallon are claiming that the show's funny, charismatic host fosters a different environment off camera. Two current and 14 former employees, ranging from production crew and office staffers, spoke to Rolling Stone alleging that the Tonight Show has been a toxic workplace for years, with the negativity supposedly stemming from 48-year-old Fallon's erratic behavior. NBC told People in a statement, "We are incredibly proud of the Tonight Show, and providing a respectful working environment is our top priority. As in any workplace, we have had employees raise issues. Those have been investigated, and action has been taken where appropriate. As is always the case, we encourage employees to feel they have I can't talk, who feel they have experienced or observed behavior inconsistent with our policies to report their concerns so they may address them accordingly." Now, this article is actually goes on for quite a while here. They're actually talking about how Jimmy has created this work environment. He apparently the issues really stemmed from when he was on the on late night. And then as soon as he took over the Tonight Show, it got really, really bad. Apparently, his behavior became just insane. Um, but they don't really go too far into actual what do you call that, like actual instances. But now, two employees recalled that at the time working for Fallon allegedly scolded a crew member in charge of cue cards during a taping with Jerry Seinfeld. Seinfeld 69 reportedly told Fallon to apologize to the crew member, which Fallon did per the outlet, saying that it was very awkward, and Jerry was like, "You should apologize to him," almost trying to make a joke out of it. A former employee told Rolling Stone it was the strangest one of the strangest moments. I'm sorry. It was one of the strangest moments ever, and so many people were there, so it's kind of hard to forget. Now later on, Jerry Seinfeld actually had said that his that it was preposterous that that kind of stuff never happened there. Uh, Yeah, he couldn't remember. He had just crossed himself out. One employee alleged. He said, "Oh my God, he seems drunk. He doesn't know what he's doing. This could be awful. I'm sorry. This could be awful. This could be the end of the show right here." Now, a lot of former staff are actually coming forward and saying that that's not true. Many of them, as I've been reading through some of these articles today, or actually, I should say yesterday. Many of them are actually coming through saying that it's not true that Jimmy gets frustrated and upset just like anybody would at any kind of workplace, but that he genuinely is a decent guy and actually is a decent boss. So well, it'll be really interesting to see what happens with this, because I mean, remember, this is the kind of accusation that took Ellen DeGeneres off the show, or off of her show for a while. Now it is the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is currently on hiatus. When the Writers Guild of America went on strike in May. So as soon as that writer strike is over, we'll be able to get back, and then hopefully they'll be able to get all this situated here. Again, nothing wants to work right today. I have no idea what I did to piss off the technology gods, but sorry. Whatever I did there. Yeah, things just but that's how technology works a lot of times. You got to understand that. It's always been like that. And yeah, I don't know. Cameras never seem to want to work correctly. My camera never does. I can't even get it to zoom out right now. I'm probably gonna have to see what's going on with this. But you know what? We're gonna keep rolling with this. The next story that we came up with here. And yeah, like I said, Charlie unfortunately could not make it today. We really wish him well. I guess he had a family emergency, and really hope that everything works out for him there. But we are going to continue going on here. Goosebumps is actually coming back. I don't know if anybody listening right now was ever a fan of Goosebumps. There was the Goosebumps book. A lot of people know the movie now. The movie is not really a good representation of what the books were about. They are, but they aren't at the same time. But yep, right here, Goosebumps returns to its horror roots with an all-new series in October. And I like this. Look closely. Jack Black is nowhere to be seen. Now right here, I can actually play this trailer for you here. This is actually, I saw this. This is really good. Here we go.
You're better off staying far away from this.
All right, there it was. That was Goosebumps. That is actually it's just a little over a month away, and it'll be coming back. I am actually really excited for that. Let me if I can actually get it to. There we go. Yep. Now, as a kid, I grew up I was born in '84, and I grew up in the '90s. There was actually a massively popular book series called Goosebumps. There was also one by the same author called Fear Street, which was more for teenagers. Which I know they've got some more adult aimed movies that are on Netflix now. This is going to be on Disney Plus and Hulu. Now it says here this is actually coming from Polygon.com. And they're always right. I love Polygon, but sometimes they're wrong, just like any publication. So, if you were a kid, grew up around the millennium, chances are your initial introduction to horror was through one of three ways: reading Art L. Stein's Goosebumps children's books and watching the television series that aired on Fox Kids, which was me. They also had some pretty cool made-for-TV movies that were on at the time. And if you ever get a chance to, definitely check them out. They are very cheesy. They are very kind of campy. But you know what? That's really the whole point. Watching Are You Afraid of the Dark on Nickelodeon, which was an amazing anthology horror series for kids. I would highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already. Check it out on Paramount Plus. On Nickelodeon, or staying up late to watch episodes of Tales from the Crypt on HBO. And you know what? I am the trifecta. I did all three. I absolutely love Tales from the Crypt. Actually, my mom didn't have HBO at the time, but they did some like reruns on regular TV, and I can't think of what the channels were that had it at the time. So I would watch it there. My mom would be like, "Oh, you can't watch this; it's too scary." But then, like if she was gone, I spent a lot of time by myself when I was a kid, with her going to school and everything, and then with my sister being off to college. I was home alone quite frequently. And guess what I was watching? I was putting that on there. I was absolutely loving it. Wow, I think I just figured out what's wrong with me. Anyway, if you fit into the first category, I have some great news for you. Goosebumps is coming back with an all-new series premiering on Disney Plus and Hulu this October. Rather than being a straightforward anthology horror series, the new incarnation. Yeah, it's in jail apparently. The new incarnation of Goosebumps seems to be taking a page from 2015 comedy horror film starring Jack Black, centering on five teenagers who must work together to recapture a swath of malevolent supernatural forces that they inadvertently unleashed while diving into the buried past of their parents' own unusual adolescence. Now, don't count on there being so much in the way of laughs, unlike the movies, which were very comedy driven with Jack Black. However, the short announcement date trailer for the series seems to really emphasize the horror aspect of the series, comedy horror origins, featuring a host of spine-chilling scenes, including a blink and you'll miss it shot of Slappy, the iconic possessed ventriloquist doll from the classic Goosebumps book, Night of the Living Dummy, and Night of the Living Dummy 2, and I believe he was in other books as well. Goosebumps is set to premiere on October 13th, Friday the 13th, on Hulu and Disney Plus. Luckily, I have Hulu and Disney Plus, so I will definitely be on the watch for that. I am super excited. I don't know about anybody else, but I really am excited about that. If you ever watched the original series, like I was saying, the original series was great. I know I'm probably looking at it through nostalgic glasses. I am really really excited for that. Give me just a second here. I don't know why my camera is like all zoomed in, all weird. And it's not gonna let me zoom out while I'm streaming here. Great. Okay. All right, now, yeah, unfortunately, Charlie's the one that had the segue thing for his for this show. Unfortunately, when he had to take off, fairly quickly, and didn't give me access to that. So we'll definitely be changing a lot of things up here as soon as he gets back. Now, speaking of horror, if I can. I don't know why this is doing this. This doesn't seem to want to work with me at all. There we go. All right, now speaking of horror, and as we got that segue thing, it's not up here. Speaking of horror, now the upcoming reboot for the popular game Alone in the Dark has been delayed to January of 2024. And I'm actually probably one of the few people that is saying thank God for that, because Alone in the Dark reboot being delayed to actually my birthday of January 16th of 2024. The publisher THQ Nordic announced the game was set to launch on October 25th, 2023, but THQ Nordic pushed it back due to the busy fall 2023 release calendar, saying our intention is to avoid competing with Alan's epic release and evade the dazzling skyline of cities adorned by the graceful swings of Spider-Man. We aim to truly remain as alone in the dark as possible, THQ Nordic said. The publisher continued to honor this. The spine-chilling horror game has been rescheduled to unveil its horrors on January 16th of 2024. This extension will serve a dual purpose. Not only will it permit us to meticulously perfect the game experience, but it will also grant us the opportunity to fully immerse ourselves in the remarkable release of our. To fully immerse ourselves in the remarkable release of October. Now, check this out. This is this is the first preview.
Introducing Platinum Status, where you save 10 cents per gallon on every fill and get the chance to win VIP experiences and rewards.
As soon as the ad stops here, sorry about this.
3 months with any fuel grade or 6 times with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline.
Survival horror is a genre we take for granted. But back in 1992, a little game called Alone in the Dark really kickstarted the whole idea, giving us a taste of limited resources and investigative adventure against the odds. Now, pieces...
Let me just stop this right here. Look at this older... I mean, you got to think of how old this game was. I mean, just look at those graphics there. That is...
limited resources.
You know, it is so weird that we've come so far from just very, very pixelated. You can barely tell that it's somebody walking. It's like, okay, I think that's the dirt. I think that's the grass. I think that's the trees. And here you've got, you know, and now you know what games have become today. This was way back in the 90s. I'll have to look this up. But here we go. We're going to continue on with this.
Sources and investigative adventure against the odds. Now, Pieces Interactive is remaking that classic in a star-studded, atmospheric take that promises to deliver the classic horror plot to modern audiences. Heading that up is Mikhail Hedberg, writer and director of Amnesia and Soma. And between his answers and answers from publisher THQ Nordic at a press Q&A, things are looking pretty promising as we gear up to return to the deeply haunted Louisiana Bayou around Derceto. The big reveal is that Stranger Things actor David Harbour will be playing the role of Detective Edward Carnby, a hard-boiled, scenery-chewing role that's a perfect cast for Harbour, and one that he seems genuinely excited to undertake.
Why the hell do I wake up hearing that damn voice?
Meanwhile, Killing Eve actress Jodie Comer will take over as Emily Hartwood, the woman who has hired Carnby to investigate the fate of her uncle, while she pries deeper into her family's secret, the mystery-shrouded Hartwood curse. Pieces looks to be keeping many key elements of the early Alone in the Dark games in their remake, especially the series' classic melee combat. While getting stuck in with a monster was a death sentence in later survival horror, carving up ghouls with a sword was always a much better choice than wasting precious bullets on them. The original Alone in the Dark is a pretty big deal. It's one of those things where, when looking at it, nothing seems special only because so many games since have done everything exactly like Alone in the Dark did then. That fixed camera for a 3D space, the way the mystery is investigated, all Alone in the Dark's creations. It all showed up again later in a little game called Resident Evil, which you might have heard of. That makes it all the cooler to see where the new Alone in the Dark is drawing from design work done in the Resident Evil remakes, while still staying unique to what it is. An over-the-shoulder camera should be a real improvement to both navigating and appreciating the locales, not to mention fighting monsters. Being Southern myself, one of the most important bits of Alone in the Dark is the setting. The Louisiana Bayou is iconic for a reason, and the Southern Gothic is a genre far older than survival horror. Mikhail Hedberg gave me a pretty satisfying answer to whether Alone in the Dark will explore those roots, noting that expanding the story in the remake gave Pieces space to expand on the local historic traditions and connect the story more deeply to voodoo, among other things. He also referenced the oppressive atmosphere of the 1986 movie Angel Heart, a psychological thriller that I think will set him on the right path to some good old down-home horror.
Who's in here? Show yourself.
While the setting is certainly homegrown for me, I'm even more surprised to hear the musical choices that Pieces has made. Jazz is a Louisiana staple, but the Alone in the Dark directors have pulled in a modern European twist, the metal-infused ambiance of doom jazz. Most horror games aren't willing to risk a heavy soundtrack, but it looks like Pieces knows you can't have noir, even horror noir, without a good saxophone. The involvement of doom jazz legend Jason Conan is a really powerful choice for the aesthetic direction of Alone in the Dark. There's just not much like the power that these strange ambient pluckings and pressurized drum rolls can achieve. In all, the team and motivation seem right to deliver an exciting take on a classic of horror gaming. I'm looking forward to learning more about Alone in the Dark as we get closer to release, and you can bet I'm downloading the free prologue Grace in the Dark right now. For more on Alone in the Dark, check out the announcement trailer, and for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.
Welcome to the Madhouse, Detective.
Now, I gotta say, I am actually 110% for this delay. Usually, I get a little frustrated with delays, but I've always been the one that always says things like, that it's better that they take their time and give us a good game and don't rush it and give us something crap and sloppy and unfinished. But Alone in the Dark joins a number of 2023 games whose release dates were shifted to avoid this year's big hitters. Remedy delayed Alan Wake 2 by 10 days to October 27th in order to avoid launching during the same week as Insomniac Spider-Man 2. Nintendo's Nintendo's Super Mario Wonder and Sega's Superstars. Laren brought forward Baldur's Gate 3's PC release to avoid clashing with the likes of Bethesda Starfield. Assassin's Creed Mirage's release date was moved 1 week from October 12th to October 7th before THQ Nordic announced its delay. Both Alone in the Dark and Alan Wake 2 would have released within 2 days of each other. Alone in the Dark will release for PC and PS5 on Xbox Series X and S on IGN. In IGN's Alone in the Dark preview, they said that in all, the team and motivation seem right to deliver an exciting take on a classic of horror gaming. I'm looking forward to learning more about Alone in the Dark as we get closer to release, and you can bet I'm downloading the free prologue Grace in the Dark right now. So definitely, if you haven't already, go download that right now and get excited for Alone in the Dark. But remember, we've got October coming up, which, as we've mentioned in here, has a slew of great games, including Hellboy, Sonic Superstars, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Insomniac Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Hellboy actually coming out at the beginning of the month. I'm actually thinking about just calling my job and just telling them I'm taking the whole month of October off, because just look at everything that there is, and I got sick time. I got vacation time. But no, I wouldn't do that to my team. But still, definitely a good choice by THQ Nordic. Now let's kind of do a little segue here. And again, that segue screen is not showing up here, so just kind of pretend that that's going up there. Kind of excited here. For the first time in 2 decades, the top 3 movies of the year are not sequels, prequels, and reboots. And why is my screen not showing? Let's try that again. There we go. The likes of, now it's kind of hard. I was actually kind of debating this with my wife. I was like, can you say that it's completely original? Because two of the biggest movies of the year are based off of older IPs, but while they've had other incarnations before, venturing into movies and into not just movies, but venturing into other mediums. The movies that came out this year were pretty original, actually. But so far, now remember, we still have all of September, or the rest of September, I should say now, October, November, and December to go through. So this could change. But while there's still a chunk of the year left to go, the summer movie season is officially behind us, as The Equalizer 3 topped the charts over the Labor Day weekend. With that, we move into the fall, where award season hopefuls will enter the fold, and horror movies will look to crash in around the Halloween season. Sure, a movie could break out between now and December 31st, but by and large, the biggest movies of the year are probably behind us. And for the first time in more than 20 years, the three biggest of the biggest movies are not sequels. They're not prequels. They're not reboots. That's the thing, though. Mario had a movie back in 1993. The movie sucked, but they had a movie back in 1993, so that's why I'm a little hesitant to say that this was something that they something completely original, but it was very original at the same time. Currently, the top three movies of 2023 at the global box office are Barbie, which raked in $1.384 billion and is still raking in money because it is still in the theaters. The Super Mario Brothers movie, which raked in $1.359 billion. So just behind Barbie, and then Oppenheimer, which raked in $853.5 million. Per the numbers, two of these films are based on established IPs from Mattel and Nintendo, respectively, while director Christopher Nolan made a biopic about J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atom bomb. So no, these are not original movies, but they are not sequels to anything. That's the key, as sequels have been dominating Hollywood for decades now. Now to end that, the last time the top three movies of the year were not sequels was way back in 2001. That year was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and Monsters, Inc. In all three cases, the movies ended up becoming franchises anyway, earning billions of dollars for Warner Brothers and Disney, respectively. But within the calendar year, they represented the start of something new, cinematically anyway. The audiences took interest. Looking at 2003, it's not all that different. Now, the biggest question is this a fluke, or is this a sign of things to come? Barbie and Mario are all but guaranteed to get at least one sequel. Let's just face it, Nintendo's already said that they're looking at giving Mario sequels, maybe spin-offs, like doing a whole Luigi's Haunted Mansion movie. They're talking about letting Illumination do animated versions of a lot of their other existing IPs, including The Legend of Zelda, which is pretty much all but been completely guaranteed at this time. Barbie is kind of, if you actually saw the movie Barbie, I don't want to give anything away, but they kind of end it with a way of opening things up for a sequel, but they also kind of keep it a self-contained story. So it's going to be interesting to see if they even try to do a sequel for that. I'd be on board. I saw the Barbie movie. I actually really liked it. Now, Barbie, like I said, Barbie and Mario are all but guaranteed at least one sequel. The only reason that we haven't heard anything official yet, it almost certainly has to do with the ongoing strikes that have shut Hollywood down. Oppenheimer is is the bigger outlier here, as Nolan's latest will be a one and done. Though it did make more than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which raked in a pretty impressive 844.3 million. Which speaks volumes about the state of movie going this year compared to 20 years ago. Now, superheroes pretty much, they pretty much, since Spider-Man shattered box office records in 2002, they've been the unquestioned dominant force in the industry. The level of success is no longer assured. I mean, look at how many movies that we had kind of flopped this year. The Flash, everyone thought that was going to do spectacularly well, and it did do spectacularly well. It spectacularly well flopped. I actually have not seen it, not from lack of wanting to, but everyone thought that was going to be the big movie everyone goes to. Blue Beetle was one that everyone thought everyone was going to go to. What was the other one? Black Adam and Shazam. And notice how they were all DC movies that didn't do very well. Hopefully James Gunn can get in there and fix things up there. Now, even looking at 2021, the big pandemic recovery year was Spider-Man No Way Home, pulling in more than $1.9 billion globally. That saved the day. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, brought in $506.8 million. And Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings brought in $432.2 million. They did their parts as well. More to the point, though, only 2 of the top 10 movies of 2021, Chinese blockbusters, the Battle at Lake Chargin, and Hi Mom, weren't sequels. Only 1 movie in 2022, The Batman, was not a sequel, though it was a reboot and a reboot of a very familiar franchise. So now this largely, and I'm pulling this off of slashfilm.com. This has largely been a pattern for the last 20 years. In 2011, 9 of the 10 movies that year were sequels, led by The Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. In 2012, there was 8 of the top 10 were led by Marvel's Avengers. And also but that's not necessarily how it will continue. Audiences are demonstrating a desire for something different. I have been saying this for years that, it just seemed like Hollywood was just cranking out remaster, reboot, reselling, read this, read that, sequel after sequel and prequel after prequel and prequel after whatever they want to call that, where they pretty much reboot the franchise with the original stuff like they did with Scream. What is that, like a prequel or whatever they want to call that? It's it's just it's a lot, and I'm really looking forward to, hopefully once Hollywood gets their shit together and gets their actors and their writers paid, we'll start seeing more originality. Now, speaking of the writers' strikes here, I gotta get to my next slide here. There you go. Speaking of the of the strikes, my word, we are actually, so there's been writer strike, there's been the actor strike, and now the actor strike looks like it's not going to affect just television and movies anymore. It is going to affect the video game industry. We reported on this last week, but there's been some new developments on this. Now, SAG-AFTRA members are already on strike against film and TV shows. Voting now underway to authorize a separate strike against the video game industry. The guild's leaders are saying that a dual strike, if it comes to that, makes sense because the issues at stake in both contracts mirror each other. I was really hoping that wouldn't be the case, but it's just really sad to see that this is how things are going to have to go. I'm actually trying to pull some stuff up here. There we go. All right, now these are largely the same fights over the same issues, and members are stronger together. SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher of the Nanny fame, actually, and National Executive Director Duncan Crabtree, Crabtree Ireland, I'm sorry, said that their latest message to Guild members by standing shoulder to shoulder in solidarity, we multiply our strength and send a clear message to all of our employers. We will not be exploited without fair terms to protect our members and respect their contributions. Employers should not have the benefit of our members' services. Now, SAG-AFTRA has been on strike against the TV and scripted TV productions since July 14th. And voting to authorize a strike against 10 major video game companies signed to the Guild's Interactive Media Agreement, or the IMA, began Tuesday. The Guild's first and only strike against the gaming companies lasted 183 days from 2016 to 2017. Though the issues affecting performers who work on video games mirror those affecting TV and theatrical performers, the interactive media agreement negotiations with the video game companies don't affect the timing or expected progress of negotiations on our strikes for TV and theatrical contracts. Drescher and Crabtree Ireland said their message to members: a strike authorization vote on this agreement will not impact the TV and theatrical strike. Now, two of the main sticking points in the ongoing film and TV strike are wages and artificial intelligence. They're also common are also common to the threatened strike against gaming companies. With interactive media, with the IMA, I'll just say that, negotiations, the first two sticking points in particular should sound familiar. Now, with respect to wages, the Guild seeking the same pay raise under both contracts, 11% of the first year and 4% in the second and third years. This is what is necessary for our members' wages to keep up with inflation. They said you should not have to take a real dollar pay cut to subsidize the bottom line of companies making billions in profits by selling your work. Now, this article goes on for quite a while, but some of the biggest saying that it's been nearly a year since they began bargaining in connection with our video game contracts. I don't know why my Steam is popping up there. I don't know why my computer just did that. You see, nothing wants to work right today. The bargaining connection with our video game contract, the Interactive Media Agreement, since that time, SAG-AFTRA has held 5 separate multi-day bargaining sessions with an industry bargaining group consisting of signatory video game companies, including Activision Blizzard Productions, Bindlight LLC, Disney, and it's not surprising to see Disney causing problems here. Disney Character Voices Inc., Electronic Arts, Epic Games, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, which is really sad to see on there. Take-Two Productions, which honestly, this could push back the release of Grand Theft Auto 6 if they haven't done the voice acting stuff already for that. VoiceWorks Production, and WB Games. Now, despite these efforts, the companies have failed to address our members' needs, and the main sticking points are artificial intelligence, wages, and safety. Yeah, I mean, we talked about a lot of this last week, so I won't go into this again. But it's just one of the biggest things is they want their actors to have time to rest, because a lot of them are sitting there straining their voice in the booth, and they're actually blowing out their vocal cords doing the screams. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this. I'm really hoping they can get all these strikes situated. Now, speaking of some, let's again. There we go. All right. There we go. Now, speaking of some interesting news going on here, a wild rumor suggests that Grand Theft Auto 6 may feature Joe Rogan, the former UFC commentator and larger-than-life media personality. It sounds like he would actually be maybe one of the radio show hosts on there. Where is it here? Now, this is not completely substantiated right now, so don't go running there and go like, oh, Cyclops from this show said he's going to be in there. Well, no, Grand Theft Auto 6 might feature the UFC pundit and media personality Joe Rogan, according to a newly surfaced rumor. This wild claim coincides with another suspect leak indicating the potential release date for Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, following years of speculation, Rockstar has finally confirmed that Grand Theft Auto 6 is in development in early 2022. And while the parent company, Take-Two Interactive, subsequently made a few passing remarks about the game, nothing of substance has been officially revealed about the project ever since. Now, that hasn't stopped the rumor mill from working overtime, because, I mean, it's a Rockstar game, it's Grand Theft Auto, and, of course, the rumor mill just does this. It's kind of what it does. As most recent, underlined by the seemingly implausible suggestion that Grand Theft Auto 6 might feature Joe Rogan, the claim originates from AudioVisor, who reports that the upcoming game will incorporate episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast into its radio content lineup, citing an unnamed source close to Rockstar. Sorry, this stuff keeps popping up. Close to Rockstar, the report does not elaborate on the matter beyond speculation that the developers might decide against including full episodes of the comedy podcast, which tend to run over an hour, kind of like our show does a lot of times, in favor of delivering a more palpable collection of sound bites. Now, taking this rumor at face value is difficult, not least because Rockstar has historically been much more likely to parody larger-than-life media personalities in Grand Theft Auto games than collaborate with them. The fact that Joe Rogan repeatedly criticized video games as a waste of time and a real problem in modern society also makes this newly surfaced claim dubious at best. His stance on the matter largely stems from his personal experience with gaming, with Rogan previously revealing that he had to quit video games because he found them to be too addictive, and the point that he was behaving like an alcoholic. Rogan isn't a stranger to video game cameos, having already appeared in 3 iterations of EA Sports UFC series, compared to the notion of him featuring in a Grand Theft Auto game. The EA collaboration was perfectly on brand for him, but not even that partnership was built to last, with UFC 4 later releasing without Joe Rogan's commentary, because the pundit had long been open about how he hated the experience of recording voiceovers for the game. Now, granted, having episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience in GTA 6 wouldn't require Rogan to return to the recording booth for another game project, as Rockstar would presumably simply license his show. But between the developer's track record and Rogan's less than positive gaming experience, the whole rumor seems to be so much out of left field that it warrants skepticism, to say the least. So I highly doubt that he will actually show up, but you never know. You never know how these things are going to go, and I'm pretty sure if Take-Two runs at him with a large enough check, he'll definitely say yes. But you never know. Let's just see what happens with that. I for one am actually on the fence with this. I'm thinking what's going to happen is it's not going to be him. I think it's going to be a parody of him, kind of like how Rockstar has parodied the likes of Jack Thompson, that lawyer that pretty much said that video games are the cause of all the world's evils. They've parodied him relentlessly. It's not going to be actual Joe Rogan. It's going to be more of a parody. I can guarantee you that he's not. I can say right now he is not going to show up in the game. And this is what happens when you're the other person that can work a lot of this tech stuff isn't here. But we wish him well. Let's see here. I don't know why it's not wanting to pull up properly. Probably because there we go. All right, now some other news that's been making the way through the internet realm today. Mortal Kombat 1, Megan Fox has become Natara's trailer. And I will go ahead and play this for you here.
I am Megan Fox, and I'm voicing Natara. She comes from this weird realm. She is a type of vampire creature. She's evil, but she's also good. She's trying to save her people. I really like her. She's a vampire, which obviously resonates for whatever reason. It's cool to be in the game, you know, because I'm not really just voicing it. It'll be like she's kind of me.
I'll steal Datusha and kill you with it. You are welcome to try. You Outworlders believe yourselves so superior.
As I've been doing the sessions, it does force me to like tap into areas of myself that I'm not comfortable. I've had a lot of fun doing it, and it's caused me to like be more free with myself.
What did you do with Jen's body?
Poor Kung Lao. You'll never see her again.
Mortal Kombat, it's just one of those staples. It's been around since gaming has been around. I think it's just like an opportunity that anybody would want, because we did all grow up playing the game, and it is one of the greatest video games of all time.
Sorry, I hit the button a little too quickly there. But yep, that is the Megan Fox actually is going to be in Mortal Kombat 1. I'm actually really excited for that. Now, after almost 17 years, the vampire of the Outworld has graced us with her presence. Megan Fox brings Natara back to life. It's been 17 years since that character showed up. I'm actually wondering if they're actually gonna do or have Natara show up in the new Mortal Kombat 2 movie that is currently in production. Actually, I think production has shut down because of the strikes, but still. bringing this up here. Mortal Kombat 1 is the latest title in the acclaimed Mortal Kombat video game franchise, developed by award-winning NetherRealm Studios. The game will introduce a reborn Mortal Kombat universe that has been created by the fire god Liu Kang, featuring reimagined versions of iconic characters as they've never been seen before. Along with a new fighting system, game modes, bone-crunching finishing moves, and more. Now, I know this is probably getting a little off topic here, but actually, she was talking there about how video game, this franchise has been around since forever. And let me actually show you something here. If I can actually get it to pull up here. Yep, there it is. Now, the reason I play that is actually not just because it's video game related and kind of goes in with Mortal Kombat. That in that commercial is actually my godfather's son, Dennis Gustafson. How's it going there, man? I'm actually I haven't seen him in quite a while, but every time I do, I always bring up that commercial to him, and he usually just laughs it off. But yep, great guy though. Ever get a chance to talk to him? Definitely do. Again, I pick on him for that, but it's all in good fun. It's all good natured. So this is let's see here. The Mortal Kombat 1 Premium Edition will be available physically and digitally for $109 on Nintendo Switch, and will include all standard edition content along with the combat pack. Early access to the game beginning September 14th. 1,250 Dragon Crystals, in-game currency. The Mortal Kombat pack will also feature Johnny Cage's character skin with the likeness of the famed actor and martial arts Jean-Claude Van Damme available at launch, and early access to 6 new playable characters available post-launch, and 5 new cameo fighters available post-launch. So excited for that. We've got just a couple more stories that we're going to go through here. And here we go. Actually, speaking of famous voice actors, or should I say voice actresses, if I can get this to actually pull up correctly. The iconic voice of Lara Croft is coming back, but not in the way that you might think. Not coming to a Tomb Raider game. The iconic voice behind Lara Croft is reportedly returning after years thanks to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I never thought I would say those words, and that's those exact words in that order. Now, for those who are not aware about the history of the Tomb Raider games, dating back to the 2000s, Keely Hawes is known for her legendary voice as Lara Croft. From previous installments, in 2006, she made her debut with an entry called Tomb Raider Legend. After that, she also returned for Tomb Raider Anniversary and Tomb Raider Underworld. Her last appearance was in 2023 arcade title, which was Tomb Raider Reloaded, and now looks to be making her comeback thanks to Modern Warfare 2. Following the launch of Season 5 Reloaded, the reputed Scooper Bob on Twitter shared an audio clip. The leaked clip revealed all the voice lines from Lara Croft for her upcoming Operator bundle in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Within minutes of surfacing online, the tweet went viral, and fans are raving about the possibility of her return to Lara Croft once again. And yep, he put this on here, and you can
Ammo
actually...
depot here. Ammo here! Ah! I'm down. Need a medic. Armor satchel here. Armor's up. Assault rifle here. Below you. Bomb drones up. Buy station marked. Bring me back, love. Buy station on me. Can a lady get a weapon? Changing mags. Check your bloody fire. Check your dodgy aim. Cheers. Cheers, love. Cluster mine destroyed. Cluster mine out. Come on, Lara. Find medical. Confirmed. Visual on the LZ. Contact! Contract phone here. Copy. Copy. Let's take them out. Copy that. I quite like a challenge. Copy vehicle. Copy. Visual on the enemy. Counter UAV destroyed. Deploying cover. Deploying decoy. Deploying portable radar. Deploying smoke wall. Don't worry, darling. I've got you. Don't worry, love. Your friends are next. Dosh here. Drop zone marked. Send it. Elimination target marked. Enemy! Enemy airdrop here. Enemy airstrike. Enemy air support. Enemy APC is down. Enemy ATV down. Enemy bird down. Enemy camera destroyed. Enemy covers down. Enemy decoys down. Enemy dog tag here.
Okay, and that goes on for quite a while there. Actually about 7 minutes, which I'm not going to play the whole thing, but if you definitely want to take a look at it, go to essentiallysports.com. So that is Activision's Modern Warfare 2 is now available across the globe. One can own it on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. As for Laura's Operator Bundle, it will release actually today, September 9th of 2023. So as soon as you're done listening to this show, definitely go check that out. Now, one last story here. These are actually two different stories that kind of go in with each other here. Take just a second here. I'm not sure why that is popping up there. Now, what do you think here? We got really a double standard going on here. Kind of wish that I could show both stories side by side, but I don't know if it's going to allow me to do that. It's not going to allow me to do that. That's all right. We'll just do it this way. So this is probably one of the stupidest and kind of proves how sexist a lot of this kind of stuff can be. God of War writer has been called out for promoting Starfield. Alana Pierce, because this idiot AP, I've seen them on there. They're pretty, yeah. We always knew that console wars were pretty were petty. I'm sorry. But now things are getting out of hand and actually just stupid and sexist at this point. A bit like saying saying two people who have opposing football teams shouldn't live together, or segregating dog people from cat people. There are those who genuinely believe you have to be either PlayStation or an Xbox fan and nothing in between, even though Phil Spencer regularly praises PlayStation and Nintendo. In 2023 are always going to be a big year for we're always going to be a big year for console wars. And while no one seemed to mind that Nintendo was off doing its own thing with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it's Starfield versus Spider-Man over in the green and blue camps. Starfield isn't even fully out yet, and already we're drawing arms. God of War's Alana Pierce is being called out for playing Starfield. Now, this idiot on here, the AP99, Alana Pierce should be fired for promoting Xbox games on a public platform like this. Extremely unprofessional and demonstrates a lack of loyalty and seriousness to PlayStation, her employer. Don't ever pay attention to him. He's just a giant moron. There have been all of the usual complaints about certain outlets, naming no names, having bias towards Sony, while Bethesda itself has been accused of giving codes to certain titles in hopes of drumming up some positive pre-release. Caught in the crossfire are the gamers themselves. Alana Pierce is something of a big deal in the industry. I really like Alana Pierce. And having worked as a journalist for IGN, has since turned her talents to writing for video games, with the likes of God of War Ragnarok under her belt, as Pierce works for Sony Santa Monica Studios. That means some think that she can't enjoy Starfield, even though Phil Spencer, he praised God of War Ragnarok, and he's the fucking CEO of Xbox. So to those people, now, Pierce is also known for streaming, for her streaming talents, and in a recent dive to the expansive world of Starfield, she tried to prove that she could land on planets without using fast travel, and that didn't go well, as Pierce traveled to Pluto for 7 real-life hours and then clipped through it. But someone had an issue with her playing it at all. Gamers come to Pierce's defense, including myself, and I know Charlie would actually be doing the same thing. Him and I were talking about this last night. In a scathing tweet, one user demanded that Sony cut ties with Pierce for promoting an Xbox game on a public platform. You'd hope this would be satire, but as all the comments have been locked, and it remains up, it suggests that this is someone's genuine opinion on the matter. Thankfully, most rallied around Pierce, including myself, as you can tell, rallied around Pierce and stuck the middle finger to the idea that someone working for a particular side couldn't enjoy the work of another. One simply wrote, "We don't claim you as a PlayStation fan," while another added, "I think you'll find most of them are actually gamers, not pathetic fanboys like yourself." Someone else pointed out that the OP tag of SSM's Corey Barlog, which is ironic because he tweeted last year that he's so fucking excited for Starfield, claiming he's taking time off to play. Devs have a life too, and if Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer can largely put their differences aside for the odd pat on the back, why can't you? I mean, and that's actually going to kind of go into the next story that we were going to be talking about here. If I can get this to pull up here. So she gets ripped for doing that. But look what happens. Very same day. If I can get this to pull up, we can see very same day. Phil Spencer says that he's having a blast playing Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Now, his game, for Xbox just released. Starfield just released, and now he's even putting on here that he's not playing it. He's playing Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Well, most likely because he's already played Starfield and is continuing to play Starfield. But the love affair between Nintendo and Microsoft, and again, Phil Spencer, he gave Sony a pat on the back for so many games like Horizon Forbidden West, for God of War Ragnarok, for Spider-Man. He's always telling them what a great job they're doing, and even Jim Ryan, who was really trying to stop the Activision Blizzard deal from going through with Xbox. Even he pats them on the back and says, "Great job" with things like Halo and Gears of War. So there's no reason that people are attacking Alana Pierce, and fuck you if you are. Sexist bastards. Now look at this. So the love affair between Nintendo and Microsoft has been a few years in the making, but there's no denying that the two are very fond of each other nowadays. What started out as a nice comment here and a simple port there has evolved into a great appreciation from both sides. And that was on display once again as Nintendo Live 2023. Head Phil Spencer took to his X account, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it now, to share some of his comments about PAX West 2023. It turns out Spencer also stopped by Nintendo Live 2023 while out and about, and he put in a good amount of time with Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Putting on here, had a great time visiting PAX West 2023. Today with my family, fun to get to walk the floor and just play games. Had a blast playing PS4 Super Mario. I'm sorry, had a blast playing 4-player Super Mario Brothers Wonder at Nintendo Live. Thank you to Nintendo America for letting everyone play. And you can see he's got a picture. This is him with Mario. As you can see above, Spencer made the Super Mario Brothers Wonder the focus of the recent post, and even posted a picture of Super Mario Brothers Wonder warp pipes. Best of all, Spencer says that he had a blast while checking out the game, and we definitely know that's true. Now the question is, which character did he play as? So Alana Pierce plays Starfield, and this one guy, at least, one person, maybe even a few of them, freak out because, they're stupid and small-minded. But the actual CEO of Xbox goes and plays a Nintendo game, and nobody says a word. So, honestly, let people play what they want to play. I used to work for Burger King, and I would go in my Burger King uniform to McDonald's, to Beefaroo. There's no reason that this is even an issue other than just being a sexist jerk. Get off of X. Nobody wants you there. But anyway, thank you all very much for coming and hanging out. I do appreciate that. If you haven't already, you can always find us on our various social medias. With Cyclops I 1984 on Cyclops I on God dang it, I actually just changed it. Cyclops Muller on Twitch, and Cyclops Muller on both Instagram and X. You can also find me on Facebook with Gamers Gotta Game -G3, Streamers Gotta Stream -G3. And on X, we also have a gaming page called Gamers_G3. We've got this podcast going here. Charlie will be back next week, and I've got a lot of things in the pipeline for this as well. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And remember, haters gonna hate, and gamers gotta game. All right, guys, peace out. Thanks for watching. We love your face. Bye.